Bam. We are live.
Bam. Welcome back, Beth. Thanks for joining
Thank you.
me.
Nice to be here. Nice to see your face.
Oh, you so cute. What are we chatting about today?
I think it's an awesome time to take stock of where we are. It's coming up on fall. It's a great time to sit down and take a look at our finances, check in, talk a little bit about back to school, and see where we go from there.
Absolutely. And we were kind of laughing earlier, saying, like, hi, us again. But consistency really is the key to this, isn't it?
Huge, absolutely huge. The more the more times you check in on what's happening in your bank account, like just having your mind focused on it, you're going to be making changes just on your day to day, just because you're thinking about it. If you're writing something down, you're 42% more likely to do it. So just checking in on those finances is going to help you stick to a plan. So,
Well, and I can say that we're living this right now. We're being more mindful, and it really does work. I'm guilty of it. It's easy to avoid your account and to, not check in. But I think
mhm.
the first step is to check in and not judge from a non-judgmental space, and like that's your ground zero. That's
Yeah. Yeah,
step
make it
one.
make it fun. Like pull your partner into it, have a little date night, like light a candle, pour a glass of wine, audit your
And
finances
pray.
and make it fun. Like have a little pizza and yeah, have a money date. Look at your spending, pull the statements, um, and just look at your why. Like why are you saving? What is your plan? Like talk about what you want your life to look like and it's your time to dream a little bit too. And yeah, I think it's fun. I like money dates, but that's me. So
Totally. And honestly, our goal is to have a four-wheeler, to have a quad for our family that we can. And so it really does help that if you have a goal, whether it be a money goal or an object goal, or perhaps a trip or a course or whatever it is, or you perhaps want to start some sort of savings fund, but we'll talk about that later. So this one now is for back to school because as we know, that's coming up real quick.
yeah.
And most
Um
people I know haven't really started doing anything yet.
yeah, my friend at work is like, I have the list now and I need to go to the store.
So
It's
now's
coming
our
up.
time. While the
Yeah.
iron's hot, here we are.
So just like some really easy tips are obviously buy used. You can get a lot of like Facebook Marketplace, buy and sell spots, but you can even do electronics used. Your kid doesn't need a brand new laptop or iPad. Like you can get used refurbished electronics for half price, and that's massive savings right there. If your kid's going into band class, like get them a used musical instrument. They're not going to sound like Mozart. Um, it doesn't matter how expensive their instrument is, so go for a used one. Sports equipment, same thing. Like if you can get used, go for used. Um, reusing supplies from last year, if the binders and pencil cases and backpacks and lunch bags are in good shape, reuse them. Like no one's gonna care. And I think a really huge one is just shopping with the list. See what the school has given that they're requiring, and go with that list in hand. Don't just go blindly into Walmart or Giant Tiger and start pulling things off shelves because you're gonna go home with a lot more than you need.
And knowing
Um,
what you already have at home.
yes, huge. One thing I did see was a good idea that I thought was swap share, like coordinate something with family, friends, neighbors, the your school classroom lit, like the kids in the class, their parents coordinate like a supply swap and maybe share some bulk purchases with other families so that you can get discounts on like those bulk prices and not everyone needs 20,000 erasers, but if you've got a couple of families that need some glue sticks and pencils and paper, you can get, bulk discounts. So
And
I thought that
also
was a cool
knowing
tip.
that you're going to need these things every year. Like planning ahead is a big part of that. And that was a
Mm-hmm.
few things that I had read. Like You know, some people are just gobsmacked that it's back to school. And while it did creep up on us, it does happen every September,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know? So planning ahead and being able to spread it out a little bit. Like if you do have some
Hmm.
pencils or erasers or pens or paper, you know it's not going to go to waste.
Yeah, absolutely. And just further to that line of planning ahead, like we talk about sinking funds for everything, like Christmas presents, start a sinking fund. So you're putting a little bit away every month. Do the same thing for back to school. You know, you've got new clothes, new shoes, new supplies that need to be purchased. Like have a budget for it and set a little bit aside every single month. So you have 12 months saved by the time you come back to September of the next year. And those little steps make a huge difference in just your stress level because you're already planning and prepping and saving and you have a good idea of what needs to happen. And yeah, my big one is meal prepping and planning. I find that that is a huge money and time saver. When you're writing down your grocery list and you're going to the grocery store only for what's on your list, you save a ton of money. And then obviously if you're lucky enough to have an afternoon free on a weekend to meal prep some solid meals for the week, that's gonna really save some time and energy throughout the week. Also, downloading apps. Steph, you were talking about apps for like your student ID card to like get discounts and stuff, but grocery store apps, like if you have a favorite grocery store that you go all the time, get their app. There's going to be tons more coupons and savings and recipe ideas and like be
They add
rewarded
up.
for your loyalty. Like, why not? Right? It's there, they're offering it, make use of it. Yeah, those were my big tips. I know
And
you
honestly,
had a few
I'm
really
kind of
cool ones
laughing.
too.
I've got a lot of the same, like word for word almost, which it's so true because we're all guilty. We want the new stuff, we want the name brand.
Mhm.
Going generic um can be good, but also if you really want to invest in some good gear that you know you can use time and time again, just decide. Decide which route it is you want to go because we all know if you think that you're saving money on a cheap backpack, you're probably going to
Yeah.
end up buying a new one throughout the year.
Mhm.
Um, don't snub stores or thrift stores because one man's trash truly could be another man's treasure. You know, you don't know. You may find like a sweet Swiss, what are they called? Swiss Army bag or whatever at, at Frenchie's. Woo woo. And showing your student ID, that's huge. Like I have actually saved a ton of money. There's places that you would never even expect that you could show your student ID. Of course, if you're in high school or post-secondary, that's something to look into. The big one to
That's
spreading them out because not all the supplies, we're just talking about supplies right now, friends, but that also extends to transportation, busing. How are you? Do you have to pay fuel? Do you have a car
mhm.
at this point? School fees, hidden fees. Is there a milk program, a lunch program? Are you paying a meal plan at post-secondary? What
Mhm.
does that look like?
So expensive. So
Which is
expensive.
why the meal planning, if you can do it at all, um,
Hmm.
the books, whether you can go to the library. A lot of the time, I think in elementary, younger schools, they'll provide the books, but and we kind of talked briefly earlier, like you could buy used books online, but God forbid, make sure you have the right edition because I tried to cheap out in paramedic school and it was a nightmare.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's
Also,
really
chatting with friends too. If you're in the same class and you buy a digital copy, like, I mean, it's nice if you can share a digital copy with your friend and do your homework together and save some money that way too, right? Um,
and really just talking about it. Talking about it
mhm.
and remember that when it comes to education, it's never too early or too late to start thinking about starting up an RESP.
Hugely get those kids saving, get the money saved for post-secondary. It's gonna it's going to help so much when the kids are hit 18 and want to go to college or trade school or do something with
Totally.
yeah.
And I think that's the big
Mm.
thing is get the kids included, get the kids excited about it because we are trying to spread the word and change the future generations because if you weren't taught how to do this before, now is the time to be the
Yeah,
change.
absolutely. And just, yeah, if you're sitting down to make a budget for school, back to school, sit down with your kids, depending on how old they are, talk a little bit about what it looks like, discuss needs versus wants. Do they absolutely need this new fancy pair of, I don't know what kids want these days, but like the in jeans, I don't know. Or is there something else that they would rather have? And like, chat with them about what they really want. Maybe they don't actually want to do band and hockey and soccer, and their plate is too full, and they can talk about setting boundaries for what, a healthy school year looks like for them. And then you're also saving some money because they're not
That's
doing,
amazing. That is
20
such a good,
different extracurriculars. Yeah.
right? And then you're bonding with your kid and you find out accidentally that they actually hate band. You know, it just starts the conversation, guys, and that's all Beth and I are trying to do is start the conversation. And like we've said time and time again, you're not coming at this from a place of judgment. Like it starts now. And if you fall off the wagon, you jump back on, and the consistency is key. We don't want to be like Debbie Downers, but when you're actually thinking about school, next month is Halloween. So we talked about this, I think last year, Beth, that you can go into Spirit of Halloween now and fork out a couple $100. And then before you know it, it's Thanksgiving and then it's Christmas. And then
Mhm.
it starts all over again. So it really is a matter of getting control, getting in the know of what you're working with, and giving yourself a little bit of grace because we're in this world where things are shiny and new and pretty looking and pretty amazing and it's up to us to just kind of be a little bit more smart and mindful about where our money is going.
Yeah, absolutely. Bam. That was nail on the head, Steph. I love that. Let's just get prepared.
All right. Well, I guess
Yeah.
that pretty much sums it up on our end. If you guys have any questions about RESPs, you're just going to have to call Beth.
Yeah.
Holler at your girl.
Sounds good. Awesome. Nice to chat with you.
Uh,
Let's do this again soon.
we will. And let's keep an eye out, guys. Come fall now, Beth and I have been talking about the correlation and the important connection between finances and wellness. You know, there's people out there probably wondering what the hell is Batty Bond as wellness doing talking about finances, but um, they're pretty directly correlated. And anyone out there who is struggling financially knows that it wreaks havoc on your mental health and your wellness. So stay tuned for that one.
Coming up next.